Hey there, I'm Lauren. I was the creative leader for the creative response to episode 12 of the Choral Commons podcast, Liberation, Theology, Poverty, and the Choir, featuring the Poor People's Campaign. And to tell you a little bit about my creative process, I find that my creative process with different projects sometimes changes. It kind of just depends on the type of project, but I think that's kind of a good thing. Um, I listened to the podcast a few times, and every time I did, I would write down phrases that jumped out at me or certain words that triggered something inside of me. It gave me an idea, even a color or a sound or something. And I kind of had this little log that I was working on for a few days. And I knew that I wanted to interweave a lot of the main themes that came through from the conversation. Jesus was a poor man, build a movement, music was a part of who I was, like all these things that interweave this idea of music bringing people together in a way that highlights that there is strength in a shared struggle, and when people can come together and use music to uplift the voices of each other and bring awareness to really important issues that are often overlooked. I think that's just a beautiful thing, and that's why I was really excited to do this project. So the piece begins with a trio of singers, and in this creative prompt that we send out, the singers just submit improvisations based on the prompt that I give them. And so my prompt was the different layers of text. I provided some notations and key context, but nothing too specific because I wanted to allow for some creativity, for some something that they wanted to throw in, even if it was unexpected or not a part of the plan. And so it begins with a trio of singers singing Jesus Was a Poor Man, interwoven improvisations kind of overlapping with each other. And it kind of sets the scene for what we are doing, which is building a movement. So it kind of flows into this section of further improvisations that are a little bit more slower, a little bit more legato, and take in other pieces of the text, but you can still kind of hear that thread of build a movement, like really, really quietly. And then as you progress through the piece, and this wasn't necessarily intentional until I realized it was just happening. And I think maybe it's because subconsciously the singers were thinking about, oh, like we're building a movement. Let's grow toward it. Let's build it. It eventually progressed to us ending with a percussion lead into Muonica, which was actually a song from the Poor People's Campaign songbook that Voices 21C sang actually in Rochester, New York, ACDA in March of 2020, earlier this year. So it kind of goes from like mysterious, not really knowing what to expect, but still getting this sense of we're going somewhere, to at the end just kind of this big excited but very important message of music can help us build communities. How do we build a community? Where do we start? Let's start with music. Let's build a movement. Let's go together. So I'm very pleased with the product, and I hope you are too. So please enjoy. Thank you.